Hello, my name is Marley Bauer and I'm here for the Freshwater Wetland Field Experience at Estero Bay Preserve State Park. I'm going to take you along with me to talk about some of our objectives today. So the first thing we're going to go over is the relationship between uplands and freshwater wetlands. Wetlands serves as a transition between upland, terrestrial, and aquatic ecosystems. They are neither continually wet nor continually dry. But wetland soils are saturated long enough to drown upland plants. Wetlands are identified based on their hydrology and the presence of wetland soils. The presence of wetland plants also. Because wetland plants have to be adapted and surviving in saturated soils, they are a reliable indicator of wetland status, even during the times that a wetland is dry. The next thing we're going to go over is the relationship between elevation, hydrology, and fire. What is the role of hydrology and fire in maintenance of these ecosystems? So in the ecosystem we're in right now, the changes in elevation in northern regions are commonly measured in feet. In the Southwest Florida area, changes in elevation are often measured in inches, but those inches make a significant difference in the ecosystem it is found. Elevation determines an ecosystem's hydro period, which is the length of time soils are saturated or flooded, which directly impacts the frequency and severity of fire. Of these variables, they work together to influence the type of soils found in the ecosystem. High and dry pine flatwoods experience fire every 3 to 5 years on average. Pines are well adapted to surviving in fire. Despite the presence of water, wetlands do burn, but it depends on their hydrology. Marshes needed to burn in order to keep woody plants from approaching. Shallow marshes burn every 1 to 3 years, while deeper marshes burn every 3 to 5 years. Swamps can burn but rarely and only during the extremely dry periods, which would be right now in the summer, and they can ignite peat soils and burn slowly for weeks. Unlike plants, animals are able to flee a fire or burrow underground. Gopher tortoises, which we saw outside, I wish we got a video of it, burrow underground, and they can dig deep burrows for safe havens for under the fires. Both services, wetlands and uplands, provide a natural and human world. There are different types of important services to the human world as well as the natural world. There's different types of water purification systems. Some examples would be water storage, aquifer recharge, habitation and biodiversity, and the role of these are what follows. Water purification. As water moves through a wetland, it can also carry pollutants that take around upland. This can take the form of sediment that are picked up by rainwater that flows across the landscape or toxic pollutants. In water storage and flood protection, a wetland's strong soils can hold a large volume of water following rain events. That water is stored. That water is stored, slowly releasing in surrounding ecosystems of human development during their dire times. An aquifer recharge is a layer of limestone under the soil surfaces that contain many holes like a sponge. Water is stored in a wetland purificates along the soil, filling up with the spaces through the limestone beneath. Florida's water comes from our underground aquifer. Large wetlands that serve as areas of recharge are critically important for drinking water supply. The last one would be habitat/biodiversity. Wetlands provide important habitat in many plant species, plant and animal species. Plants such as butterwort and batterwort digest tiny insects as they grow in the nutrient-powered soils. Egrets can also grow in this and shallow water wetlands. So that is the role of acquiring and managing the protected water resources. So thanks for coming along with me today.